comments to order. Mrs. Thomas, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Sachs.
Here.
Mrs. Blankfeld.
Here.
Mr. Rock.
Here.
Mrs. Wise.
Here.
Mr. Gould.
Here.
Mr. Cooney.
Here.
Mr. King.
Here. Very good. All members are present. Will you please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is reading and disposal of council for courtesy on tabling, as I've not had an opportunity to myself review those minutes. Is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Second. Okay, motion table by Mr. Gould.
Mrs. Wise.
Aye.
Mr. Gould.
Aye.
Mr. Cooney.
Aye.
Mr. King.
Aye.
Okay, very good. The minutes are tabled. Next is item 4, additions and removals from the agenda, referrals to committee. Are there any additions or removals from the agenda or any referrals to committee?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to move items C, D, and E to the top agenda items, making them A, B, and C.
I'll second that motion. Okay, we have a motion to move items C, D, and E as A, B, and C, and then making A and B, D, and E. Basically, order accordingly. I anticipate A, B, and C you expect will go quickly. So we have guests for all 5 items, so.
I realize that.
All right. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, seeing none, Mrs. Thomas, we call the roll.
Mrs. Sachs.
Aye.
Mrs. Blankfeld.
Aye.
Mr. Rock.
Aye.
Mrs. Wise.
Aye.
Mr. Gould.
Aye.
Mr. Cooney.
Aye.
Mr. King.
Aye.
Very good, motion carries, and the agenda is reordered accordingly. Are there any other additions or removals from the agenda or referrals to committee?
Question, Mayor.
Yes.
For either you or the law director, if I'd like an executive session to discuss items A, B, and C, would that be appropriate at the time that they're called, or should I add it now as part of the additions? You can do that at the time they're called. Thank you. Nothing further from me.
Okay, very good, thank you. If there are none further, then we will go to comments from the audience. Speakers may take up to 5 minutes. We would ask that you state your name and address for the record when you speak. We'd ask that you approach the podium and speak into the microphone so that you can only be heard but also recorded. Is there anybody here to address the city this evening? Mr. Cato?
Is this on? Did you guys hear me? Hi, my name is Mike Cato, and I live at 2603 Fenwick Road. I'm a third-generation University Heights resident. My grandparents and my father's side of the family were members of the Jesuit parish years ago. I bought my first home on Channing back in 1994 and later moved to Fenwick in 2003. My looks may fool you, but I've served on the University Heights Architectural Review Board for 20 years. It's a distinct honor to serve as the chairperson of the board and actively engage in numerous steering committees with the city throughout the years. They included the new zoning code committee, the no active pedestrian and bicycle safety committee, the master plan, and the rebranding efforts. So I'm no stranger around here. My work began on the ARB in 2002, when then Mayor Burl Rothschild saw one of my local projects get constructed. At the time, I was the architect for Flower Row, where we transformed an old gas station into a thriving flower shop. She came to me and asked if I would help start an architectural review board in University Heights. Burl was an area student. She knew the region would soon be transformed with new construction projects, and she sure was right. I helped form the board along with colleagues Bill Maddow, who was the building commissioner at the time, and Marianne Colorado, who was a resident architect. This newly formed board is now Burl's legacy. Our early major projects were reviewing the design for JCU's Dolan Center, the University Square Shopping Center, Whole Foods, 2 major renovations at Cedar Center. Since then, I had the privilege to review every single construction project in the city, from new houses, townhomes, educational and religious institutions, new garages, windows, signage, awnings, the list goes on. It goes without saying that I know the design characteristics of all 42 miles of our neighborhoods. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not bragging, but I feel compelled to give a short bio. I started practicing architecture back in 1987 after graduating from Gilmore Academy, private Catholic high school. I attended Roger Williams University in Bristol, Rhode Island, and later transferred to Duke University of Cincinnati to graduate with my bachelor's in architecture. I interned at City Architecture, which is a Cleveland architecture firm, and worked my way up over the years to principal, where I worked on complicated residential and mixed-use projects. Today, I'm the head architect for Bain Builders, where we design and build custom homes. I'm averaging a design for a new custom home nearly every single week, so it's safe to say I've designed over 500 custom home projects since joining Bain in 2011. It's actually what sets me apart on the board. I specialize in residential design. One responsibility I have as a lead designer is that I have to present to other architectural review boards. On average, I'm presenting to at least 2 ARBs each month. It doesn't include presentations to BZAs or planning commissions. So I have a unique perspective on this board in that I'm more often on the other side of the table. I presented some of the most challenging boards, including Hunt Valley, Gates Mills, Warren Hills, Sharon Falls, City of Cleveland, and even our neighboring cities of Cleveland Heights, Shaker Heights, and Detroit. I take that valuable experience with me when I serve the University Heights. It's allowed me to ask the right questions, ensure quality design, build respect with applicants, and make our processes smooth and friendly as possible. In addition to chairing the University Heights area, I'm also the chairperson of the Cleveland East Regional /Opportunity Corridor ARB in Cleveland. I don't live in Cleveland, but they sought me out. I'm also the architect of the City of Gainesville Historic District, and I sometimes consult with the Shaker Heights Planning Department. It goes to show I'm more than qualified for this role. One thing that I admire most about our ARB is the dynamics of our membership. Mike Coutre and Richard Kyle and I make quite the team. In fact, it's the only thing that's been constant with regard to building the University Heights. Over the years, they've gone through 8 building commissioners. Our newest one started just last week. There is no more building department in our city. Our one has quit under this administration. We now consult with third-party safety firms. We've even gone through a number of secretaries. However, the 3 of us here each have a legacy knowledge of the city, a deep understanding of the design character of our neighborhoods, and decades of architectural experience has been the only true constant. But now the administration is proposing that we break up that continuity and appoint a new majority of ARB members at a time when we have some of our building commissioner who needs to be brought to speed. I don't have a problem with our 2 new candidates. In fact, it was Mike Coutre and I who recommended them as alternates, not replacements, to his board. Last June, I asked the mayor to consider bringing on an alternate to the ARB in case one of us is unable to attend a meeting. After all, we need an odd number of people. An alternate is actually required by ordinance, but the administration told us to follow that. They asked us to revert candidates, and we did. 9 months later, the mayor decided to finally act on those suggestions, but not because there was a vacancy, or because we wanted an alternate, but because a member of my household stood up and spoke out to the mayor last week. Apparently, the mayor didn't like it, and challenged misbehavior was under the trend. Then, the last 2 months, he's removed 2 planning commission members who publicly disagreed with him, attempted to remove a CIC citizen member, called for a councilman to step down. Today, he's not supposed to be here. Look, I don't need this job. I enjoy it and I do it because I care about the city and want to ensure that things are designed properly, preserve all of our property values. I'm not up here to grovel for this role. That's not the behavior I'm engaged in. I'm not even a political person. I just like to do architecture. I'm up here today to call for the preservation of the integrity of the ARB. For 20 years, the body has been independent and apolitical. The dismantling of this independent body is purely political influence and interference. It sets a dangerous precedent for the city. Do you really want to live in a community that could disagree or disregard, that boards we made up of blind loyalty? No, we need a board that will remain independent, free thinking, one with discourse and aspiration. Politicians come and go, but architecture has to stand the test of time. Council, please consider the reappointment of Michael Coutre, Richard Kiley, and myself. Please consider the new appointment as alternate members, which is much needed at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cato. Is there anybody else who would care to address the city at this time?
Good evening, Richard Kiley, 2212 Emerald Boulevard.
It's hard to hear.
Peter.
You can lift up a lot. It's loud.
Yeah, Mrs. Thomas, can you check the mic, please?
I'm sitting up front. Did everybody hear what Mr. Cato said? Does he have?
I heard
Okay, thank you. We'll start here. Thank you.
I'll speak up. Also, Richard Kylie, 2312 Miramar Boulevard. Just a couple comments in relationship to the ARB. I have served for over a decade on the ARB, and I know earlier this week, the mayor notified me that due to code, city code, that not allowing alternate members on the ARB, that it was time to make a change and bring in the alternates that were suggested a year ago into the board, which I was perfectly fine with. But now I'm understanding that may not be the city code, and actually city code does allow for alternate members, which would be, I think, something of great advantage to this committee, being only 3 members. There's oftentimes conflicts in schedule, et cetera. So, in favor of alternates, in favor of changing the guard in the ARB, with the fresh ideas, but I just think there needs to be a process laid out and not just arbitrarily making a change. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pettit.
I have a question. Are we able to ask questions to the speakers or no? Okay, if no, I'm just asking. I'm new to this.
I mean, we typically it's usually not a back and forth, it's a.
It's
Right, it's your meeting.
Yeah, and at the same time.
It's your meeting.
So it's my meeting, council? I have a simple question to each of the gentlemen. How were you notified and when?
I have got an email from the mayor earlier this week.
This week, after how many years serving?
This day.
Mr. Cato?
I got an email last week as well.
No call, no nothing?
No.
You were surprised? Okay, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Couture, 2623 Edgerton Road. Been a resident in University Heights for 14 years, and I've been an ARB member for 14. I served under 3 administrations, Rothschild, Intel, and Mayor Brennan. During our tenure, as Mr. Cato stated, we've been a consistent entity as part of the building department. Commissioners and staff have moved on for whatever reason. I feel we've always been fair, nonpartisan, consistent with our comments, while still keeping the city's best interests in mind and establish certain standards. We serve with a sense of civic pride and integrity. We each had our own architectural strengths that we fed off of each other and relied upon. I was notified as part of both parts. The other members, I should say. I was not removed. I was nominated to be extended. I don't think any of us were aware that there was a term limit to our position. I mean, we enjoyed what we were doing. Like I said, I served 3 administrations basically. And yeah, I second the fact that we are in need of alternates. I recommended one of the candidates.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Couture. Is there anybody else who'd like to address the city this evening?
My name is Winifred Weiser. I live at 2177 Jackson Boulevard. And I came tonight because of the change in the ARB membership. I came tonight because of the issues, cost and information sharing raised at the special council meeting on Wednesday. I came tonight because of the turmoil my city seems to be in. That's a lot of turmoil. Turmoil caused by the actions of the administration. I suppose, Mayor, that you will say, as you did at the meeting on Wednesday, that these are things best not talked about in public. Rather, it would be so much better to hold these from public view in executive session. Supreme Court Justice Brandeis's quote about sunlight being the best disinfectant is a true one. Discussions in executive session are sometimes necessary. However, they can hide from the public what really is happening. That prevents the public from speaking out about what is taken behind those closed doors. After the election, you represent all of us. Not the 1,584 that voted for you, but the 1,698, the majority, that voted against you. You will need to hear from all of us. We all, both groups, will agree with you on some things. We will also disagree on others. Some of the people here in support of Mr. Cato may also be your supporters. You, Mayor, have repeatedly reminded the council that you are the administrative head of the city. That is true. However, being the chief administrator means you have the responsibility to see that the city is run in an efficient and fiscally prudent manner. Administrative means you have to be able to manage, to be a manager. Good managers are not petty. The Wednesday meeting exposed a problem in our administrative code. There is nothing that would require things classified as professional for going out to bid when over a certain dollar amount. The state of Ohio sets engineering fees at $50,000. As it turns out, that has led to potentially high engineering costs we probably might not have had to pay if they'd gone out for bid, using Shaker Heights as an example. Sadly, this has been going on through multiple mayors and their administrations. However, when you set yourself up as the best administrator and also as a budget expert that can ignore anyone who makes valid suggestions, then one can ask, why haven't you fixed this? If Councilman Rock had not had the courage to call the question on all of this, we probably would continue to pay these fees into the future. He did his job as an elected representative. Councilman Rock's actions exposed publicly an issue that cost the city money. A lot, a significant amount. Oh, heck, how about enough to pave a road over time? You can, and it appears you did, strike back at him by removing a member of his household, Mr. Cato, from ARB in retaliation without any consideration of Mr. Cato's over 20 years non-political service to the city. The law director said to me after the meeting where I was reappointed to the CIC that he felt the public back and forth between you and I was problematic because residents would not want to serve if they were exposed to that happening. I partially agree with him. However, I know that anyone who wants to volunteer for a committee needs to know ahead of time what they might face if they offer opinions that differ from yours. They will need to have the courage to speak their mind. I applaud Mr. Cato for his courage to speak his mind about ARB and the impact of what you are doing, and I'm proud to stand with him. I think the one thing that all residents want is the management of this city to be done in an ethical and non-political manner. If there are issues, we deserve to know what they are and not have those hidden from you to preserve political aspirations or to protect significant political donors. I would hope you would reconsider your actions in regards to the membership of ARB. It's a membership that has worked hard for all of our residents without any political overtones. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Elijah. Is there anybody else who would care to address the city this evening?
Good evening. Better? Good evening, I'm Rebecca Slifer at Dunbar Road. And I am here with two, possibly three things to say. I have to snap the spirit moves me. So, first, I am very proud that through the sustainability quasi-committee event things that started earlier in January, I've had the privilege of meeting some of my neighbors and getting to know them better, some of you getting to know better. And out of this, we managed to create a partnership/relationship with the Cleveland Heights Trinity. And they brought me and Mandy Goodset and my other neighbor, Elizabeth Engelhardt, together to be involved with their Earth Month initiative here in the Heights. So on Sunday, April 24th in the afternoon at maybe from 12 to 2, we are going to host a street sweep green event. Hopefully, anybody who has an extra trash picker, upper, grabber thing, if you have one and you would like to lend it to me, that'd be great, because if not, I'll have to buy them, which I will do, because I think it's important to keep trash out of our sewer systems, which, you know, we all know what that leads to. So, I think it will be April 24th, it's a Sunday, please mark your calendars, please come to our event. I will probably bring some cookies and my cup tent and table and my fantastic husband who is so kind as to support all of my crazy ideas. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention, so mark your calendar. The second thing I wanted to bring up this evening is I wanted to say thank you to our council. Thank you for asking hard questions. And there's some fresh faces that have some diligence and are asking some of the things that I would like to know. I am not a politician. I don't have a background in all the local governments and how they work. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm just a busy lady. So, my thanks to those of you who are asking the hard questions. I am happy to pay my taxes. Doesn't bother me. I would rather not see, though, any tax money wasted. I don't want to see summer programs for children not paid for. I don't want to see hot lunches not paid for, because we were failing to be the stewards of the fiscal capabilities that have been managed by this city for a very long time. So before we moved here, before this council was forced, there's a pretty good nest egg. We shouldn't just fritter it away because it's there. I don't mind spending money. I mean, I think I've offered to buy stuff to put up signs over at the city. So I would just want to say thank you. Please keep asking questions, because that's the only way we get to understanding. I know it gets contentious, but from contentious interactions, we have greater intimacy and a greater understanding. And I know hard questions can ruffle some feathers, and I can't even say ruffle feathers because I'm so excited about it. But I would ask that we be mindful that everyone keeps an eye on what happens here, right? So show some leadership, don't be afraid. There's a lot of voices that are behind all of you, because we rely on you to lead us through whatever comes next. Could be a pandemic tomorrow. So on that note, keep up the good work, I suppose. Thank you. Well, I don't know how you've been.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'm sure you're already on it, but if there are any extra trash picker-upper thingies that the service department may be able to offer Ms. Leifer and her effort, maybe we could make a couple of those available if we have them.
We'll see what we have. Thanks. Is there anybody else who would care to address the city this evening? Okay, I do have some emails to read that were submitted before reading tonight. There are 4 of them. I will start with an email from Scott Soder, 2592 Fenwick Road. I am writing today regarding the recent dismissal of Michael Cato from the Architectural Review Board. Please include this document in tonight's meeting. Mr. Cato, from my understanding, was a founding member of the Architecture Review Board and has served faithfully since its inception. His efforts and dedication, no doubt, made significant contributions to University Heights and helped ensure its desirability among residents looking to relocate. Property values and return on investment are key factors when looking into which communities to live. Homes and commercial structures must be maintained and renovated to the highest standards in order to support these. Mike's effort to ensure residential and business dwellings meet these standards certainly contributed to the desirability of UH. Mike was hired to design and implement a renovation of our screened porch into a 4-season room. His vision for this transformation was based on an overall plan for our backyard. His efforts helped earn our house a spot in This Old House magazine, as well as several University Heights Beautiful Home Awards. His talent is evident in this project and so many others that have earned him high respect in the architecture community, our city has customers living throughout northeastern Ohio. I urge the powers that be who made this misguided decision to reinstate he and his colleagues to ensure UH continues to be a desired community and retain high property values. Next is a letter from Sue Pardee. It says, "Good evening, my name is Sue Pardee. I live at 2343 Charney Road. I am a former council member and vice mayor of University Heights. I want to thank the mayor for reading my remarks into the record as I'm unable to attend tonight's meeting. I am bewildered and befuddled by recent actions in the city regarding the Architecture Review Board and Planning Commission. It appears the mayor is performing a sweep of the dedicated citizen experts who have served our city for years. Were there problems? Was there something wrong? Had one of these dedicated citizen servants made an egregious error that cost the city? No. Had one of these residents of our city been accused of something heinous? No. Had the mayor exercised the administrative right to appoint or reappoint members in any time in the last 4 years? No. I am concerned for our dedicated citizens who have recently been removed from positions they served in for years. However, today I speak specifically on behalf of Michael Cato, the talented and experienced architect who has given countless hours to the city, knows the housing stock here well, is renowned and of high reputation, who ably serves other communities and agencies. In fact, he was a founding member of the Architecture Review Board. I have known and observed Mr. Cato over my 12 years on council and know him to be of the highest caliber, carefully reviewing what is brought before the ARB, thoughtfully providing input before voting. His institutional knowledge is significant, especially during this time of extreme turnover and change in our building department. He is an asset to our city. I do not personally know of the new architects the mayor wishes to appoint, and I wish them no ill will. However, a well-run organization benefits from institutional knowledge and allows for the time to train successors. I urge council to consider reappointing Mr. Cato and selecting one of the new appointments as the much-needed alternate for the ARB. Finally, most disturbing to me is the mayor's lack of courtesy and respect shown to these citizen servants who have given their time and expertise over the years on ARB and Planning Commission. We welcome our residents and ask them to share their expertise with the city, which only makes our city stronger. We should celebrate these residents, not boot them out without warning. The mayor stated the city resounded with the ideal of putting people first. With that, he had put these longtime resident experts first as he considered how to move forward." Then we have an email from Ruth Griswold. To whom it concerns, I had the pleasure to work with Michael Cato for most of the 30 years that I was with the University Heights Building Department. His dedication and expertise has gained him the admiration of many, including myself. Whatever he reviews, from a simple replacement garage to a complicated new structure, his knowledge, professionalism, and fairness has always been evident. His commitment and loyalty should also be lauded, as I can't recall Michael ever being absent from a meeting. He is, not surprisingly, extremely well respected among his peers. The University Heights Architectural Review Board is very fortunate to have Michael Cato as a long-standing member and is serving as its chair. Richard Kiley has also been a very valuable presence at the ARB meetings. He brings a lot to the table, and the dynamics and interactions between these two professional gentlemen would be extremely difficult to replicate. University Heights should be very proud of their service and of their genuine interest and concern for the betterment of their community. Sincerely, Ruth Griswold. And then finally, I have an email addressed to University Heights City Council. This is signed by numerous folks. I'll read them off when I get to them. I would like to thank you for your efforts to fix recycling in University Heights and to make this city a more sustainable place for all. However, more work needs to be done. This city has the ability to set its sights on monumental objectives. We cannot allow ourselves to become constrained by the issue of recycling. Please utilize your role as a public official to work together with other members of the council and the mayor and the people you represent. Recycling is too important of an issue for the future of this planet and everyone who inhabits it in the years to come to waste time debating week after week about whose proposal is best. Once recycling is solved, the city can undeniably focus its efforts on bolder objectives. Solar energy is one that comes to mind. I do not doubt that you sincerely care about this issue too. Please put that care and attention in making this council's top priority and not move on until a solution is found. John Carroll University is the city's of University Heights namesake. Please honor that commitment to the university through the city and listen to students as we say that issue is urgent. We care, and we will be vocal until we see a change. Signed, Morgan Anderson, Broderick Arundale, Catherine Benequista, Zach Brinks, Emma Korosha, Maria Conklin, Karakova Piper Fulmer, Courtney Holland, Jacob Kozlowski, Gabriella Lambesis, Elise Loveman, Max Nally, Kelsey Mullen, Patrick McGraw, Megan Maselko, Molly Maselko, Rupert Munnings, Caden Rogers, Michael Roth, Jasmine Scafuro, Brooke Talbot, Miles T. Meyer, Joe Veronica, Megan Walsh, and Matthew Whitby. Are there any other public comments? Well, the next item will be reports and communications from the mayor and the taking of action thereon. My mayor's report is on the machine I just plugged in, so I'm going to go back and see if I have enough power to read it. Thank you for waiting. I will begin with the Architectural Review Board. I'm delighted to appoint 3 people subject to council confirmation this evening. Lily Quinn has a Master in Architecture from Penn, it's the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, and a Bachelor in Environmental Design from Texas A&M University. While in Philadelphia, Ms. Quinn was a designer of projects, including the West Tower and East Market Mixed-Use Project, the Independence Collection, historic renovation, and the Society Hill Marriott projects. She was architect of PFCU 1108 Chestnut Retail Project, Fifth and Spring Garden Mixed Use Project, those were in Philadelphia, and then State College, Pennsylvania, the Penn State Veterans Affairs Center. Since coming to Northeastern Ohio, University Heights, Ms. Wynn has been architect on Valor Acres multifamily project in Brecksville and 3663 Park East Mixed Use Project in Beechwood, among others. Tommy Chesnis has Masters in Architecture and Urban Design from Kent State University College of Architecture and Environmental Design, Cleveland Urban Design Collaborative. He has been with Onyx Creative and Hirschman Associates since 2013 as a design architect. He's been an adjunct professor at Kent, as for community involvement, in addition to attending jury reviews to provide professional design critique for students of architecture at Kent State University, CAED, and having served on the City of Cleveland Design Review. Mr. Chesnis was athlete parade liaison for the Gay Games 9 held in Cleveland in 2014. Mr. Poutre is well known to the city, having been a registered architect for 33 years, having served on the ARB for the last 14 years, and I've offered him reappointment. These appointments reflect my continuing effort to bring city boards and commissions to reflect the diverse population of the city, to provide new opportunities to people who are highly qualified and willing to serve, while preserving a degree of institutional knowledge. These were never meant to be lifetime appointments. As a city, we are interested in new voices and new perspectives. These appointments represent my continuing commitment to that. While the agenda indicates that these are 4-year terms under the ordinance, the terms are actually for 3 years and are being staggered. There have been no new or reappointments to the ARB since well before I took office in 2018. After consultation with the law director, it is my intention to reintroduce the originally intended staggered terms by appointing each of these 3 appointees tonight to a partial 1, partial 2, or complete 3-year term, so that a new ARB appointment can be made each year as originally intended. And we will address that in Last week, the Council Committee of the Whole formed, with my blessing, a Facilities and Infrastructure Committee to be filled with citizen members. We're looking for people with an interest in seeing through our new municipal facilities. We have a needs assessment report in hand, the design phase is to come. It will be a working committee, one with a fair number of meetings over the next few months. You can have practically any background, though backgrounds in architecture, engineering, commercial real estate, recreation, urban planning, safety services, senior services, and green energy are all of interest. I am particularly interested in hearing from candidates from minority and underrepresented and underserved groups. This is an opportunity to shape the future of the city, first with municipal facilities and then beyond, to serve as an advisory on various infrastructure projects and priorities. Similar to tech advisory and finance advisory, we envision that at some point we may consider formalizing this committee by ordinance. Email us at info@universityarts.com with the subject line, Joint Task Force on Facilities and Infrastructure. It isn't actually a task force, but that is how I advertise it prior to the formation, so please use that as the subject line. Tell us anything you like about your interest in serving and what perspective you think you would bring. All applications that go to info, I will be forwarding